So I want to talk about hair bonding as a potential option for women losing their hair for whatever reason. I choose to wear wigs. I've had hair loss for 25 years. I've worn wigs for 12. I thought I was going to do bonding until a friend did it first, and I realized it wouldn't work for me. So bonding is an option for the right candidate. You have to know yourself and you have to know what goes into bonding to know if you would be able to deal with all that it entails. I'm going to get this on and then we can discuss. So I chose to put this reel here of her 247 hair because she's been bonding for a very long time. She does it in the way that I used to see it done, like around 2010 on my site. A lot of women were bonding. I thought this was going to be the holy grail for me. Typically the top is shaved in a pumpkin top fashion and the topper is glued on, and then it's removed, cleaned and reapplied every X amount of days. And I think for best wear and best practices, personally, what I've heard over the years, realistically, that's a 7 to 10 day mark. People can stretch it out longer, but the whole 4 to 6 weeks I think is pushing it. I don't know. I'm not a bonder, and also I'm not a fan of long hair bonding. If I were to bond, I would be doing the shaved top glued on. So what did I mean by you have to be the right candidate? You have to know if you're able to mentally deal with something being stuck to you if it's not perfect. So my friend who had done it told me that she had a wrinkle in her bond, and she's like, why? You cannot do this. You will go insane because I need everything to be exact. I need to have control. And if you have a wrinkle in your bond, some people can live with that, some people cannot. It can be crooked. Some people can live with that, some people cannot. I know that it would drive me absolutely insane. So when she told me that, my potential bonding career was over then and there. Something else I did not think about at the time, but did when I shaved my head, was I have very sensitive skin and I developed folliculitis from shaving my head. Some people shave with no issues. I don't. I shave and I have pimples. I have to treat the pimples to be able to shave my head. It's very likely that I would have actually had a problem with the adhesive. These are important considerations as well. I wouldn't have thought about that before, but when I shaved my head, I thought about that. Like the glue might have been something my head reacted to, and that would have been problematic. I could have a shaved top, glue on, and be reacting with a head full of pimples. Now, they do patch testing ideally to see if you would react, but you may not react in that moment. Maybe it's after only X amount of days. So these are all considerations. That's not to discourage anybody, but it is to say that when you go into any type of process, whether it's even purchasing a wig or whatever you're doing, you have to know everything that is involved. It's easy to see something online and be like, that looks great. I will say that I don't think the 4 to 6 week bond is realistic. From what I've heard in the past, and not that long ago, from people doing more mainstream bonds, that is not a realistic time frame. I've heard people stretch it to 2 weeks, but really you also want to have control over your bond. You want to know how to redo that thing on your own. You do not want to be reliant on a salon. So maybe it's not ideal to have to go do it yourself, but you want to know how to do it in case you did have to do it. So if you're going down this route, I think it's worth figuring out, learning how to do it yourself, even if you are using a salon. So you have the choice. You don't have to wait for those time frames of 4 to 6 weeks. You got to think about your hair is growing out underneath. It's also may not be getting as cleaned as it should be through a hair system. So I think there are many types of hair systems that work for different people, all kinds. You can sew them in, you can glue them on. There is no one thing for everyone, and no one can say what somebody else should do. I think they're all the right option for the right candidate when that person is informed about every single aspect of that particular hair system. Bonding is definitely an option. It's not that it's not an option. You just have to do your research and educate yourself so that you can make the best decision for you.